sometime early in 2022, because of the inflation that was going on post-COVID, the government was really trying to force interest rates up and take dollars out of circulation to basically get prices down because, bread was super expensive. Going out to dinner was getting expensive.
Toilet paper was expensive.
Yeah, right. And so we're still suffering from the overhang of that. It's just that the prices aren't increasing as fast as they were. So when people say inflation has come down, what they mean is they don't mean the prices have come down. They mean the rate of increase has either slowed or stopped, right? And it hasn't stopped, but it's back down to probably like 1.5% for most staples right now. There are other things like housing that skew it higher. Okay, so that's fine, mission accomplished, but that's a cycle. Okay, so now in late 2022, the Fed said, okay, we're probably at the bottom of that cycle, right? We think that inflation is moving in the right direction and will take 18 months to get there. And they were mostly right on that. Okay, so then what you want to do is you want to slowly start loosening the purse string on the money, because if you don't, what's going to happen is people are going to stop borrowing, businesses will stop growing, small business and medium-sized businesses, which are the heartblood of new job creation historically, are going to stop being created, right?
Right.
And so they have no choice but to predict to some degree when these cycles are going to happen. So slowly, liquidity was coming back in, which is one of the reasons why Bitcoin and tech stocks had a booming 2023, if you remember, right?
It was an amazing year,
Right. And it was the velocity of money, even though conditions were still tight, dramatically flipped, and from ridiculously tight to a little tight. And again, at the edge, it's that velocity of money that moves markets. Okay. And so that slowed late last year. Right. And so it looked like, Bitcoin was going to be flat for a while. The reason, if you remember early this year, a lot of assets, except for, a few stocks, were very flat, except for Bitcoin, which was up and to the right. Why? Well, that was the ETF. Okay, so the ETF at that moment, that liquidity was drying up a little, created incremental demand for the Bitcoin itself, because now 401ks and IRAs for the first time could allocate. Okay, so for the last few months, liquidity has been very dry because the Fed has been very concerned about making sure that they really got this inflation under control. Right now, it's clear that not only do they have it under control, at least in the short term, right? Because you can't have it under control forever, but the economy is slowing dramatically. And again, it doesn't matter in absolute numbers. It matters about the rate of change. And it's clear that they've turned the Titanic slowly. And if they don't basically start thinking about the direction of the Titanic now, it's going to be a problem. So a lot of people are predicting that you're going to see interest rates come down quickly over the next few months. And then the discussion is turning to, okay, we're seeing unemployment numbers start to trickle up. Are they going to be able to steer this Titanic quickly enough to stave off a recession? Or is it going to be a small recession? Or is it going to be a big recession?